And now back to the Big Dumb Fun Show.
Back on the Big Dumb Fun Show. We're live online Monday, 7 to 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. The rest of the week you can watch this episode. It will be in replay right there on BigDumbFunShow.com. We're hanging out in studio with guest host Brad Westmar.
Hello.
We also have filmmaker Gary Jenkins and the founder of Cinema KC. Been sitting in there with him. Next to him, Jerry Rapp is here as well.
Hi, Aaron.
How you doing tonight?
Hi, Brad.
Hi, Jerry.
Thanks for having me back.
Thanks for coming in.
I thought since that last time you wouldn't, that incident.
The incident where we were at the Midland Theater?
There was something.
Was it that one?
No, not that.
It wasn't that one. No, it was the incident would have been. The last 3 times I tried to get you to come in.
I heard that argument going on. It was nasty.
Mom and Dad are fighting.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it sounded like.
But you're here involved in this, in that you're doing this screening.
We are very honored to present. Cinema KC is presenting Gangland Wire, and honored to have Gary working with us on this. This is one of the missions of Cinema KC, is to showcase different filmmakers in Kansas City, and
he's definitely one of them.
He's one of them.
He has a number of other films that are really, I wouldn't say well known, but I went out to a screening of the one that you do about the Underground Railroad it was at the Plaza Library, and they have like this sort of a big, like a hall, and which is kind of off of, like, you go in, you go down to the right there, downstairs, and I walk in, and this place was packed.
Yeah, it's about 400 people there that night.
They actually have, like, sliding doors. They had to open the sliding doors up because they had some more space behind there for more people to get seats to watch this film. And then afterwards, of course, there was kind of a Q&A, and people were standing up, and it was very moving. There's some very emotional stories that people were sharing. And Gary's, I'm not sure how to respond to that,
Well, yeah, and Cinema KC is going to do something like that with my 2 other movies, which are about slave life in Missouri, and then the Underground Railroad by, the next one in the progression of the chronology at the time was slave life in Missouri, and then people escaping from Missouri and getting north. So we're going to do something. We're not sure what. Talk with Jerry and John Shipp about it next Black History Month in February with those 2 movies.
But they're ones you already have in the can.
Correct.
What are the titles?
The one about slave life in Missouri is called Negroes to Hire. Kind of I've had some trouble with that title. People think it's not politically correct. And I talked with one of my interviewees about it, who's a black historian. He said, no. He said keep that in, because we want people to pay attention to this movie, and that will make them pay attention. Because what it is from an ad back in the 1850s, if you had extra slaves, you would hire them out to other people. So there's an ad in the Liberty Gazette, or is it Tribune? In the Liberty newspaper, Liberty, Missouri, it said Negroes to Hire, and so that's where I got the title from. And then the second one is the Freedom Seekers, Stories of the Western Underground Railroad, which is out here along the Missouri-Kansas border, and then on up to Chicago and maybe across to Canada.
But was part of that, like, I thought in the film they talked a lot about Quindaro.
Correct. Quindaro was one of the really important stations, the first station on the Kansas side, because Missouri was a slave state, right? And so you had to get out of Missouri before you really got on the Underground Railroad, because there wasn't any such thing in Missouri. A lot of people will argue with you, but there's no documented Underground Railroad stations in Missouri. No expert. I've not found one expert,
that
one
would say that
primary
there was
source
one
document.
somewhere.
A lot of people say there are.
Cape Girardeau, no.
You may be on the east side. There might be something in St. Louis. I don't know about Cape Girardeau,
But that was because Illinois was a free state.
Right, correct. See, Missouri was surrounded by 3 free states. So I find none on the western side, shall we say, documented with a primary source document where it says this was an Underground Railroad conductor or person or location. But they got to Kansas, and Quindaro was one of your first places, of course, because it's right on the Kansas side. Correct. They could go across. They could swim from Parkville. You just get in. The current would take you down the river to Quindaro. It's a natural. And in the winter, winter, the river would freeze over because it was a braided stream back then. It wasn't channeled out so that it would freeze over and they'd walk across on the ice.
But didn't they still had people raiding over into Quindaro? And
Correct. They wanted to get their people back.
The black people that were trying to get free.
Correct.
Back to the plantations or the farms.
Correct. There was money in that.
And I mean, this seems like you were a police officer. You went back and went to law school, got your law degree, so you're an attorney, and here you are making documentaries. How did that happen?
No, I get bored easy. I need continual challenges, I guess. I don't know. I think I'm nuts sometimes.
But I mean,
I want to quit and play golf, but then I get bored.
Not nearly as many people showing up are being moved by your golf game.
I guarantee you that. I've only broke 100 once. There's golfers out there would say you need to quit playing golf.
Well, we've got some audio here. It's on your site, which is ganglandwire.com. The title of the video I'm looking at here is Joey the Clown Lombardo, Chicago Mafia. Can you set this up for us?
Well, Joey Lombardo, or Joey the Clown, was a mafia underboss in Chicago, and he was in the office of a man named Alan Dorfman, who was a high-level Teamster official who was involved in making loans for people to buy casinos and then helping get the skim back. So there's a lawyer in St. Louis named Morris Schenker who had bought the Dunes Casino. And Schenker was supposed to kick back some money to Dorfman. He hadn't done it. And so Dorfman was not a tough kind of a mob guy. He was a mob associate and a Teamsters official. But Joey the Clown is a tough guy. And matter of fact, he's in jail for murder for the rest of his life right now. And
so we're pretty safe to play this.
We're pretty safe to play this, yes. And so he has made a call to Mr. Schenker, and the key phrase in that is, you got to get the money. He said, you say you're 72. Let me think. If you want to see 73, then you'll get the money. and it's so subtle. It's not like I'm going to kill you. It's like, you can do it. You can get the money, and if you want to see your next birthday, then you'll take care of this. But if you don't know the money, you don't have a problem. He says that too, and it's a typical real deal mafia threat. It's subtle as heck. So try it.
Let's play this.
It's a little bit
input from electronic surveillance in
that's
Chicago,
the
Milwaukee,
FBI agent talking about
Kansas City,
where they get this from.
San Diego has some things going, Cleveland, and what have you.
Alan Dorfman is a longtime Teamster official owned by the Chicago mob. Here, Chicago agents record Mafia Captain Joseph Lombardo threatening a casino owner, Morris Schenker.
Alan was Chicago. Yeah, here I mean, that's Chicago. Should have been off the pot, We either generally got covered or we got covered. Because wherever we got covered, have some people there. You have to find a way to pay it. I keep trying to overhead. Nobody's going to make you do anything. I never did business with that. That's true. I did business with Papa. Then we do it with him. I did it with Papa. Papa said, do it all. Excuse me, I just heard to bring a message back. You can fight the system if you want. I'll tell you what, it says it's 72, and you decide. All you can do is send a guy to feed it to him. One guy. If you don't own that, you got nothing to worry about. You will reach 73 then. There's no problem. Listen, now you're a lawyer. You've been around St. Louis a long time. You got folks to go for help. I was not that type of a guy. But the people got a piece of him. I'm that type of a guy. You know what I mean?
Well, I've known Alan Dorfman probably 20 years or better. I knew his father. I knew Alan Dorfman, I think, before he ever went to to become associated, before he ever went and became associated with the Central States Pension Fund.
Now that last was Morris Schenker in an interview talking about Alan Dorfman, I think right after he was killed. And Alan Dorfman was the reason that he was being threatened, but I think he felt like that was over. I don't think he ever paid him the money.
You mean once he was dead?
Once Dorfman was dead, yeah. Dorfman got killed for other reasons. They were afraid. Dorfman caught a case for he and Roy Williams, the Teamster official in Kansas City, and Joey the Clown, Lombardo had a plot that they had recorded to bribe Howard Cannon, who was the senator from Nevada, about some kind of trucking legislation that they wanted wanted Cannon to support, and they had a bribery conspiracy, and they all caught a case. And at the same time, all the skimming trials were getting ready to come up, and they got scared that Dorfman was going to start testifying and going to program, and so they set him up in a parking lot up there in Chicago and killed him.
Wow. Interesting, really great stuff, Gary. If you're into the mob, the Kansas City mob, the history of the Mafia, this is a film that you definitely want to see. It's screening at Screenland Crown Center, right?
Correct.
Public screenings are Friday. Friday, the 15th.
Starting Friday at 1:30 or 1:45 and 6:30, and be every day from then for at least a week, and maybe as long as they can make money off of it. Come on down.
It's interesting too, because this is a film for a new generation, in effect, because a lot of younger people know that something happened in the River Key area, know some of the broad strokes, but they don't know the details.
Yeah,
and this is a wonderful way to educate them to that.
It's actually, how, as Gary had said, it's from the mouths of the men that did it.
Correct.
Because these are the wiretaps on their houses and their businesses.
Correct.
And you forced with Freedom of Information Act to get this information to put this movie together.
Correct.
So definitely worth seeing. Check it out, ganglandwire.com. Gary Jenkins, thank you very much.
Thank you, Aaron.
Absolutely.
Leave your worries behind. Open up your ears and open your mind. There's no telling what you might find.